It's like a cheesy golf ball.
What's going on, everybody? Tim from the Lancaster Smokehouse. Today, we are making Pimento Cheese Croquettes. These are the most delicious thing you will ever put in your mouth. They are crispy, they're cheesy, they're gooey. We're gonna serve it with a little jalapeno sour cream. You're gonna like it, your friends are gonna like it, your family's gonna like it. You're not gonna be as big a disappointment as you were before you made these. So let's start. Alright, so first thing, we basically just need to make pimento cheese. Usually it has mayonnaise in it, but because we're frying these, I'm gonna omit the mayonnaise. This is basically just a dump job. This is about 4 cups or so of shredded cheddar and mozzarella cheese, 500 grams cream cheese, very important, that's room temperature. Got some nice fresh green onions here. Relatively fine. It's about 2 whole green onions going in there. A little bit of chili flakes, 2 little pinches of that. I've got some granulated garlic, about a teaspoon of that. I've got some, we're not using that. Cut that out. Black pepper, a couple of pinches of that. Some salt, not too much because you got a lot of cheese in there. A little bit of hot sauce. You can make it as hot or not hot as you want. Now we're gonna really mix this up. If you have a stand mixer at home, great time to use it. Or if you have clean hands, just use your hands. Wash up. All right, so we've pretty much got all the ingredients that we need for our pimento cheese in the bowl now, except for one thing, the pimentos. So we've got some roasted, peeled pimento peppers here. I like to add it after I've mixed everything else so that I can kind of fold it in so they don't get smushed and fall into pieces. So if you like measurements, probably about a cup chopped up pimentos. So this is a lot more stiff than pimento cheese normally would be. Pimento cheese usually more of a consistency of like a thicker kind of dip. We're blowing that out of the water. We're getting crispy, crunchy, cheesy croquette balls. That's what we're doing. I've got an ice cream scoop. If you don't have an ice cream scoop, doesn't matter, just use a tablespoon. Little scoop. Ooh, these are big. Much bigger than I anticipated. I take it back. I forget what I just said. So I've got a tablespoon, like a heaping tablespoon's worth, and then we're just gonna roll it up into balls. I'm a fan of balls. All right, there you go. Nice little pimento cheese ball. And now we're just gonna do the same thing with the rest of what we got here. You wanna try and get these all roughly the same shape, but you know, don't lose sleep over it. All right, so my balls are rolled. Pop these in the fridge or freezer just till they firm up. Freezer for probably half an hour, fridge for at least an hour. And in the meantime, we will get our dredging station ready so we are ready to fry. Get your blender. Flour, egg, breadcrumb. We're just gonna crack our eggs. I'm hoping that 3 eggs should be enough. Mix that up. Put a couple drops of water in there if you want, helps loosen it up a bit. I've got panko breadcrumbs. They're really coarse, so you get cheese seeping out. So we're actually gonna put them in the blender, get them a little more fine, and that way they're really gonna cover and coat the cheese bites really well. This is a good blender. See the texture in this has completely changed, so it's a lot more fine. Perfect, done. Done. So I've got right here 3 jalapenos, a dry pan right here, so no oil, nothing. It's on like a pretty high heat. We're just gonna drop in our jalapenos, and you'll be able to hear them pretty quick. Skins are gonna start blistering, they're gonna start blackening. Let's just get the rest of the ingredients into our blender. About 1.5 cups of sour cream, juice of 1 lime, a little pinch of salt. Okay, so my jalapenos are looking nice and charred. You can see the skin is really starting to get dark and blackened. So what we're gonna do at this point is just put it in a container or a bowl covered in plastic wrap like I have here. And now they're just gonna steam, and that steam is gonna really help the skin loosen up so that we can peel them really easily. I'll pretend like these have been steaming longer. All right, so these have been steaming for about 5 or 10 minutes in here now. And you can see the skin is really wrinkly. Cut the tops off. The skin peels off really easily. Maybe do it with gloves. The more seeds that you leave in these jalapenos, the spicier this sour cream is gonna turn out. So I think I'm going to take the seeds out of 2 of them and leave the seeds in 1. We'll probably get like a moderate heat that way. Now let's just pop these guys right into our blender and just puree till smooth. Let's just get a taste of it. Decent heat, not too bad. Exactly where we wanted it. All right, set that aside. So our croquettes have been hanging out in the fridge for about an hour now, so they're nice and firm. We got our plain flour, we got our egg mixture, and we got our ground up panko breadcrumbs. We've got a pot of oil heating up. Try your best to do what they say, wet hand, dry hand. So this hand, as I'm breading, only the wet ingredients, so that's the egg and the cheese. This one's the dry, so only the flour and the breadcrumb. That said, I usually give up on that about 2 or 3 in. First one, we got our pimento cheese. Roll it in the flour, get it all the way coated. There's flour coating the whole thing. Then drop it into your egg wash. Letting the excess egg drip off and put it right into your breadcrumbs, and then with your dry hand, mix it up really, really well. All right, so that's the one coat. Next, we take that ball right out of the flour back into the egg. So we're basically doing like a double batter, and we're gonna protect ourselves from having the croquettes explode when they're in the fryer that way. So let's just do that for the rest of them. All right, so we've got our croquettes completely breaded here. We've got our oil set to 350 degrees, and it's time to start frying. So we're gonna do it in smaller batches. You don't wanna overload your pot, especially when you have a smaller pot like this. Drop them individually so they don't stick to each other. Check our oil temperature. We're holding good at about 350 degrees. That's exactly where we want it. Any hotter than 350, there's a good chance that they're gonna really explode. It's gonna take about 2 minutes or so. Looking good, looking good. All right, first batch of these guys are out. They're looking golden brown and ooey gooey. Time for the next batch. As soon as they're out of the fryer, you want to hit them with just a little bit of salt. These guys are going to be pretty salty already, so just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to build an awesome little pimento cheese croquette tower here. So we're just going to get some of our jalapeno sour cream on a plate like that, and that is just going to stabilize our first layer. Oh, mama. There you go. Your little tower of pimento cheese croquettes. Serve these at your next family get together. Serve these next time your buddies come over. They are gonna love you. I'm gonna top mine with a little bit of charred jalapeno sour cream and dig in.
Those are amazing.